Hello guys and welcome to another log of nope, this is not the usual content of virtual pets or Digimon. It is about Ever Crisis, and for the game, this character has just been introduced and I can't wait to do the summoning video. So yes, today there'll be a summoning video for one of my favorite characters in Final Fantasy VII. It is Sephiroth and he's playable and there's a weapon and a gear for him, and that's what we are doing today. So it's not the usual content. My usual content is to focus on Digimon or raising virtual pets. And I just have to say before we continue with this video, if you're a fan of Final Fantasy VII and you're like me interested in Digimon or raising virtual pets, you might have stumbled into the right channel, because my channel actually focuses on raising Digimon and virtual pets, so mostly Digimon actually, and I upload at least twice a week. So you're like me, if you're interested in Final Fantasy VII and raising virtual pets, then go ahead and like and subscribe this video. If you're not and you're only interested in Final Fantasy VII, it's okay. You don't have to look at the Digimon videos. You can just, I hope this summoning video entertains you. I like to record my pain. I'm a free-to-play player on many of my mobile games. In this case, I've been playing since it was released a few weeks ago, Ever Crisis, and I've been free to play, so all these gems I've accumulated, I usually save up for it, and then I will just record my pain. I've done that before for Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. I've also played several Final Fantasy games that were free to play as well, like Final Fantasy World, War of the Visions, as well as Dissidia Opera Omnia. But honestly, this is the one that I've been waiting for, because among all the Final Fantasy series, Final Fantasy VII is my favorite. I think I mentioned that many times, and now this is the game just for Final Fantasy VII fans, and I've been looking forward to it. So anyway, before we continue with the summoning video, I haven't really done a review of this game, and it's not my intention to. I just want to give a few cents to those who have not actually tried this game, those who are wondering whether it's worth playing. Honestly, I think it's worth your time if you're a fan of Final Fantasy VII, or if you're interested in learning about the story or the lore, because it is free to play. You don't have to purchase anything. Honestly, it is very free to play, player friendly. I know I have to be careful when I say this, because I have to admit, and the caveat is, there are pay to win elements to it. So some people are complaining that hey, it's becoming quite pay to win, because you know there's some upcoming event that is like some ranking system, and obviously if you pay and you're a whale and you're able to get better weapons and so on, you're gonna be able to rank better in this event. Honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing. And before you start throwing stones at me, we have to admit that mobile game development companies have to make money at the end of the day. They're not a charity organization. They do need to earn their revenue. The question is, when they make a game free to play but pay to win, how do they strike that balance? And do they put it too much on pay to win that it becomes almost like pay to play? So there are some games where I've seen that happening, maybe because the story content is not so strong, and then you know, maybe because the content is not, the story behind the game is not so strong, the interesting part behind the game becomes the parts relating to the events or the challenges, and the challenges were actually designed with very high difficulty. So even in this game there are some very high difficulty contents, namely currently would be the summon quests, where there's like really high power levels. So it does exist even in this game, right? The power levels are crazy, and of course if you're a whale, you'll reach there very fast, right? And some of these games, because they don't have a strong story content, then the only part that will be interesting would be the challenging parts. And then you will start to find that if you don't have those very unique or rare equipment or units or characters to play, then you'll struggle. And then free to play players will find that hey, if I don't spend, I can't win, I can't play. Win is one thing, but it feels like you can't play because there's nothing much to play. The story is nothing much, right? On the other hand, there are also games where the story is interesting, but it's so difficult. The scaling is so impossible. Even on the main story games, it seems like you need to have those rare weapons or units to even proceed, and you find yourself facing a wall without having to spend money. You can't continue on playing the game. And that's also another issue where, you know, a free to play, it's not real, because you end up having to pay in order to continue your progress or enjoying even any basic parts of the game. But Ever Crisis, well, at least for the first 3 weeks of release so far, doesn't seem that way, because there's a lot in the story that can cover, and you don't need to pay money to get the rare equipment or the rare units in order to proceed. Yes, if you are just starting with level 1 gear, you will not be able to proceed much in the story. So you do need to spend some time leveling your characters and leveling that weapon, but it's not, you don't have to pay to do it. It's just waiting for the energy to come, and then you just level up your character and your weapons, and they give you a ton of resources at the beginning. So you just have to be patient, play it out, level your characters, level your weapons. There are tons of guides out there, and you will be able to clear that story through. So it takes time, and the interesting part is you just have to enjoy that process. It's free to play, it is not free to win, right? What is your objective here when you're playing the game? Sorry, I'm diving into philosophy a bit, but it's about enjoying the process of playing. And in this case, there's a lot of story to play through. You have the basic Final Fantasy story, and they plan that the roadmap is there. They will cover everything in Final Fantasy VII. They are going to cover Crisis Core as one of the main chapters, and they will just release chapters after chapter as the game progresses. They are going to cover Crisis Core. They're even going to cover things that were only just in the movies, like Advent Children, there's Before Crisis, there's Dirge of the Cerberus, which is like, even some of these stuff I never played because I didn't have access to, and now it will be on this game. And there's even the most interesting part, and case in point, is the First Soldier. So the First Soldier sounds like the Battle Royale game that was released for a short while and then didn't have a very long lifespan, unfortunately. It's not that. The First Soldier in this case, they're using the same name, but it's in reference to our dear antagonist, and you know by now Sephiroth is the antagonist. It's his origin story. How did he start? Who was young Sephiroth, and how did he become who he is right now? And the story, honestly, when I play through this, is very intriguing. I'm objective when I look at this because I'm really into stories when it comes to games, and the script and the way they've written it, it's good. It's not like they're writing it for the sake of writing it. So I have to say, I'm very excited. I've played through this, and I can see the longevity in this. And so in terms of free to play, like, why should you play it? In terms of story content, I think it's very free to play, player friendly. Okay, you just have to play. You don't have to expect yourself to clear the hardest challenges within the first few months. It might take time, but the challenges, to me, is not the main focus of the game here. It is about playing with the characters that you like through the interesting chapters and the stories that are already, you know, things you're familiar with, but now they're reimagined in a slightly improved graphics presentation. So the battle animations are awesome. They're like console level. So I think it's really good. Now, another part where I think that it's very free to play, player friendly, is the fact that, you know, you have this, and I'm just going to show it to you since we are on the app itself. You have the concept of, oh no, I can't go in there. So maybe I can go to the weapon parts. I didn't plan this out very well because I just wanted to do the summon video. But you have the concept of weapon parts and upgrading of its weapon's rarity. So, you know, usual gacha mechanics, you have the standard banners of drawing weapons. In this case, there are also gears that your character can wear. Honestly, the gears are optional. They just make it like really cool if you have it. Like, it's very powerful, but it's not compulsory. And there is weapons as well. So the weapons, they come in the basic form of 5-star rarity. So it sounds cool, right? And it's very relatable. We are familiar with 5-star rarity. but they also come in terms of 3 and 4 star rarity as well, which are easier to obtain. And so long as you obtain any of them, like even at the 3 or 4 star form, and it's very easy to get any of them, there is the concept of weapon parts, which there are these quests that comes every 2 or 3 days, and that's what I was trying to show you, but unfortunately I've cleared it so I can't, like mercenary requests. There are some of these that comes every 2 to 3 days where you can select the weapon parts that you want, so you can focus on getting and collecting these weapon parts. And if you don't have the main weapon that you are hoping to get, and you only have it at 3 or 4 stars, by doing these quests that comes in time to time, you can actually obtain this specific weapon part, and that allows you to upgrade it to 5 stars. And even if you have gotten it at 5 stars, right, you can further collect more weapon parts and you can upgrade all the way to 15 stars. And that rarity count, by the way, it might sound a bit intimidating, like what? So to maximize the weapons like potential, I have to go all the way to 15. Yeah, if you're thinking about maximizing, but the usability of the weapon comes in the moment it is like 5 stars, right? Once it's 5 stars, it's a very powerful weapon, and you know, upgrading its rarity is just a luxury. It just makes it even more powerful than it actually is already. So it's not compulsory at all. I have many weapons at 5 stars, and it's also very easy to collect all these parts to upgrade its rarity further. Now, while we are talking about weapons rarity, the other part that makes it very free-to-play player friendly, aside from the fact that the gears are easy to collect and you can upgrade them, you know, with all these additional quests that they throw at you, so it's not all despair if you miss out on a weapon. The events, and I have to talk about this, the events themselves gives very good gear. So for example, what I'm showing you here, the Beach Parasol and the 1000 Waves are actually event exclusive weapons that are available through playing on the event. You don't have to draw anything, they're just available through the exchange. When you play through the event, you get some additional currency, and that currency you can just exchange for all these free weapon that you obtain, and it goes all the way up to 15 star rarity. Yeah, it is not gonna be as good as the weapon that are featured on the banner, right? But when they're upgraded all the way to 15 stars, which is very reasonable in terms of the amount of effort required to do that, it is okay. It's very powerful. I've used Beach Parasol, and Zack has become a mainstay on my party since the event has happened, and he with the fact that the 15 star rarity weapon is equipped, he becomes very powerful. And I had actually swapped Tifa out. Tifa was actually on my team with 2 5-star gear, and when they released the event with Zack's 15 star weapon, he actually just overpowered my Tifa with 2 5-star weapons. So it just shows how powerful even event weapons can be and event gears can be. I'm not sure if it's still there, if I can just showcase that. Yeah, this is the Beach Festival Fun event where they had all these exchange. Yeah, and I cleared it out. I totally cleared out the store there, exchange all the Beach Parasol as well as the other weapon for Glenn, who is the other character. And it's very useful, and it's good, and it's rare for many of these free-to-play games that is designed this way. Usually the event weapons that they release are like meh. It's like not bad, but it probably wouldn't see the light of day. It's just collecting for the sake of collecting. But in this case, it was actually useful, and Zack became one of my mainstay. But unfortunately, we have our new character here, and who doesn't want to play as Sephiroth? I really want to play as Sephiroth, and here we have Sephiroth before he became an antagonist. So I'm gonna get him. He's sadly, Zack, you're gonna be benched for a while because I want to rock Sephiroth with Cloud, with Aerith on my main team. So this is just my current main team. Cloud, we have Aerith, and sadly Zack, you're gonna take the bench for a while, take a rest while we can have Sephiroth being featured in my gameplay. Okay, but the last part that I want to talk about in terms of how it's free-to-play player friendly. So we've covered how easy it is to play on the content, and it's reasonable effort. All right, it's not easy, but it's reasonable and it's enjoyable. We talked about how the weapons can be upgraded, so it's not all doom and gloom if you're unable to hit the 5-star weapons. We have also talked about the event exclusivity, event exclusive weapons can be very useful. So it's easy to get very, very powerful weapons as well. If you don't want to spend money, you can play through the events. The other thing is the currency rate is quite reasonable. You have your daily quests as usual. So if you play all your daily quests, and it doesn't require a lot of effort, and easily you can collect up to 50 crystals. You can see you get 10, you get another 10, and then you get another 30. And all these points are quite easy to collect by doing some very, very basic, task in a day. And on top of that, you get this, you can see that there's this 2-hour refresh here. It's this little jukebox for advertisements. If you watch 2 advertisements a day, each advertisement gives you 50 crystals. So that's like 100 in total within the day, plus the daily missions will be 150. So that means that if you just do these basic things, you get half a draw because you get 150 crystals in a day. So within a day, you get half a draw. Within 20 days, you get 1 multi-pull. So focus on that, right? Within 20 days, you get 1 free multi-pull just by doing all these simple basic tasks. And that is not including the additional crystals you can get from the weekly missions as well. So that's quite generous. And then you have all these campaigns that happen time to time, login bonuses, and then out of these you have your events, which admittedly it is a one-off reward for clearing all those missions. And of course all your standard story missions give crystals as well, and of course they are not refreshable, so you just have to clear them and get it one-off. But they will release these chapters every month. So that means every month you get a steady inflow of chapters coming in or events, and that also becomes kind of like your income for your crystals that you earn as you play through these new stories or events. So you just keep collecting these crystals time to time. If you are free to play, it just means that you got to save, and this game encourages saving. So the next mechanic, aside from the fact that you get a steady flow of crystals, right, is how much you can save. And saving is important because they have this very important feature called a stamp card. So this is basically the game's pity system. So if you're not familiar with the term, pity system is like, in the past, when they first started mobile gacha games, there was no concept of pity system. So you could sink hundreds and thousands, there are stories about people spending thousands of dollars into the game and they still couldn't get the unit or the weapon or the equipment that they were trying to get. And of course, this raised a lot of issues because it became like pseudo gambling. So then they came up with the pity system. I think it originated from Japan mostly, where there was a lot of gacha games. So then it became a concept where if you have sunk resources into a banner to summon something for like 200 or 300 times, then you're like guaranteed 1 item that you were aiming for, or something similar to that. So that would stop people from spending crazy amounts. But even then, the standard rate was like 200 draws or 300 draws. That's crazy. That's like, if 1 multi-pull is 10, you are drawing like 20 multi-pulls. That's insane amount of resources to reach that level. So, and that is the common trend that I noticed when I was playing, whether it was Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. I think I even still have that video there where I spent like 100 over 1,000 of lapis, and it's all free to play crystals. So, but it's still painful because I have painstakingly saved up all that currency just to draw on that banner, and that was a perfect showcase of how crazy the odds were to get the unit or the weapon that you wanted. And in that case, I was aiming for Cloud, right? So that was really, really painful. But here, the stamp card makes it a lot less painful. Why? Because as you can see, and I already explained, you don't have to get a 5-star to get the 5-star, but in this case with the stamp sheet, within 6 stamps, you are guaranteed the banner weapon. You can select which banner weapon you want, Edge Wings, or in this case Bold Eagle is the other one. I want Edge Wings. So within 6 stamps, you get your Edge Wings. One easy way to understand is within 6 pools, you will be able to get Edge Wings. So 6 multi-pools, you are guaranteed the banner, featured banner weapon. Now, take note, I said maybe it would be 6 multi-pools because this is stamps. So how it works is that when you do a multi-summon, in this case 10 draws, there will be a mechanic where it checks whether you get 1 stamp, or maybe you are lucky enough to get 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 stamps even. And the odds are actually displayed as well. So you can see the card stamp, the odds are here. There's a 45% chance you'll get 1 stamp. So that's going to be most of the time. But there's also a 35% chance that you can get 2 stamps. And 3 stamps would be 15%, and more than that, of course, those are the odds of getting 12 stamps within the first pool. That's like 0.01%, but you don't have to bank on that. Even in the worst case scenario, you pull 6 times and you get 1 stamp each, right? For those 10 draws that you do, which happens most of the time, you are still guaranteed. So even the worst case scenario that you keep getting 1 stamp for 6 times, you're still going to get the Edge Wings within 6 multi-pools. So if you are saving your resources, you can do the basic calculation by saving enough for 10 draws. Alright, 6 multi-pools, which is about 6 times 3, which is 18,000 crystals. You are guaranteed that even in the worst of your luck, and the worst case scenario that happens, within 6 pools, you are guaranteed that weapon. So it encourages you to save your currency and to strategize on how much you want to spend if you are a free-to-play player. They're telling you that don't spend on every banner. Just save up. If you're not interested in that weapon, don't go for it. Save up for another event, save up for another banner, and you will be guaranteed that weapon that you really like if you're willing to save, right? And of course, if you are a little more aggressive, you can go for the gear as well. So the gear is given on the 12th stamp, you can see here. And that means that if you really like your character to have the whole total set of that gear, which I already mentioned is a luxury to have, you just need to save up for 12 multi-pools, and that's assuming that you get the worst of luck, like all 12 of your pools are 1 stamp pools, right? And that the odd is supposed to be unlikely of that happening, right? You are likely to get maybe 1 stamp on the first one, and maybe on the second draw you might get like a 2 stamp or a 3 stamp along the way, and maybe if you're lucky enough you might get a higher count like 4 or 5. I've seen that happening when I was rolling for my starting account, and I was able to get a gear. So it does happen time to time, it's just not frequent, right? But you can just save up enough. If your risk appetite is a lot lower like mine, I plan to save up to 36,000 crystals at any time to save for the character and the weapon that I want. In this case, I've saved up to 55,000, and precisely I've been saving up for Sephiroth. There were only 2 weapons and gears that I was saving up for. One would be, because I know that Advent Children would eventually come, I was planning to save for Cloud's weapon and gear for Advent Children, and I'm very sure they're going to release it because it is Cloud's iconic Advent Children costume and his most powerful weapon in that movie. So it will come eventually, and I plan to save for that. So I need 36,000 because I can assume that the worst can happen, just like how I've tremendously horrendous luck with gacha games. I could get 1 stamp all the way, and I just need 36,000 crystals, I keep saying lapis, crystals, to get both the weapon and the gear. So I'm going to save up for that, and I've been saving up for that. And I was also saving up for Sephiroth. And since Sephiroth came first, I'm going to spend on him. And I plan to to get both his weapon and his gear. So you do need to strategize the way you're going to spend. So we'll talk about that right now since we are on that. So I hope I've convinced you enough how free-to-play player friendly it is when it comes to getting the featured banner. But there's one more thing I need to talk about. It is the wishlist concept. Now this is also very powerful because what it means is that if you have played the other kind of gacha games, sometimes when you try to pull for the featured banner, you might get some off banner stuff. So there are also 5 stars, but the 5 stars are like some random character weapons that you're not really interested in, and then you don't know what to do with them, and you feel like, oh no, I got something but it's not exactly what I want. Now this wishlist concept is very powerful. Basically, it allows you to specify what are the off-banner weapons that you would like to receive more so than any others. So it's like a wish list. So it's like, okay, aside from what is already on the banner, which they also specify, hey, that thing is already on the banner, so you don't have to select it. Like Sephiroth's Edge Wing is here, so they already put it there, it's featured. You don't have to put it on your wish list. We know it's on your wish list. What else do you want? And you can select 5 of them. It can be any of these weapons that you want that are released already within the game or from earlier banners that you have missed as well. So in this case, I missed Cloud's Maritime Sword because I wanted to save, and I was like, it's a good weapon, but you know, it's not Advent Children weapon, so I'm just gonna save and I'm just gonna pass on this because my gears are good enough. But I'm just gonna put it on my wish list because, you know, I missed it, but since I'm gonna summon for Sephiroth, I don't mind getting this as an off banner rather than any other random weapon. Like if I just suddenly got this enhanced sword, you know, I'm not really interested and I might be disappointed, or some other weapon that I don't really want. So I can tell the game, well, if you're going to give me something else, this is what I want instead, right? And you can check the odds they actually show. So because I've specified that I want Maritime Sword, it's a lot higher. It's 0.8% rather than 0.01%. That's like 80 times more than any other off-banner weapon. So it is very friendly. So if you're getting like 5-star guaranteed, you know, the other weapons offer the featured weapon is 13%. You can see these are like 10% chance, right? Rather than the rest of these, which are like 0.2, right? So the chance of you getting some random weapon that you don't really want is a lot lower. So that makes it even better that even when you are getting off-banner weapons, it's still going to be something that you want. Of course, you need to take time to go and think and plan what else do you want, and don't just randomly, you know, set some weapons and you're just wasting the wishlist feature in that sense. So I think that is the last point that I have that is very free-to-play player friendly. But I don't have to talk about tickets. They have tons of tickets, and maybe I will briefly mention how generous they are about the tickets, because when they released Sephiroth at the just 1 or 2 days ago, he gave us a whole bunch of tickets, like 50 tickets for Sephiroth weapons, and I already got some of the weapons that are really meta for Sephiroth. Case in point, it will be Awe Nibi. In this case, those who already know, this is like one of his most powerful weapons because it gives him a self boost of magic attack, right? And so far, this is the only weapon that in the game that does a self boost for magic attack, and it's given to Sephiroth, and I got like a few copies of it, so I was really lucky. And yeah, they're generous on their resources that they give to free-to-play players as well. So all in all, I think it's very free-to-play player friendly, and you know, if you're willing to save, you will be able to, you know, enjoy most of this content, right? But if you are not and you're impatient, then chances are you're gonna get like incomplete stamp cards that doesn't give you the guaranteed weapons because you didn't save enough and you keep splurging, and the next banner that comes out you can't even hit the 6th stamp, then you're not going to be able to get the weapons that you want. So you got to be very sure and strategize on how you actually spend your resources, and if you do and you're able to save, you're not too greedy on getting everything, you will be able to get the weapons that you're interested in getting. So it's a bit of the classic cliche story of a bird in hand better than a two in a bush kind of thing. So just don't try to get everything and you'll be a little more contented as a free-to-play player. So anyway, enough talking. Let's get into the draw. I'm so sorry for those who are already playing this game and don't need further convincing. This is just a message for those who are still wondering whether I should get into the game. Those who are looking for the summon, we're going to do it. But right before we do it, I just want to look at my wish list again, and I can explain a little bit about my thought process here. And I don't know if the rest of you have a similar thought process when planning your wish list. For me, I always try to maximize on my party to ensure that they at least reach this red zone of rarity. So in my case, Cloud, for his Murasami, he's already at 6-star rarity. You can see there's a red star there. That's like one rarity above the 5-star rarity. So I had a Murasami and I had a duplicate, and that's why it's upgraded to a 6-star. So that's quite good because from a 5-star upgraded to a 6-star, they get an extra boost on their utility. But even then, at 5-star, like I mentioned, Aerith's Fairy Tail, which I have, it's already very useful. Like having the additional upgrade in rarity to 6-star just makes it a little more powerful, and which is useful. And that's why Fairy Tail is on the list, you can see, because I want that upgrade. And of course, after 6-star, you can upgrade it further to 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to 15. And you might have noticed that, hey, why didn't I select Murasami? Since it's only at 6-star, I could upgrade him further. But I did miss out on Maritime, which I think the Maritime Sword for Cloud was also a very powerful weapon, just not good enough that I wanted to make me splurge on the weapon in that banner. But since there's a chance to specify an off-banner weapon, why not? Why not get the Maritime? And in this case, I think Maritime, there's another reason for me to get it aside from the fact that it's very powerful. I like the concept of this synergy. I don't know how to put it, but it's kind of like it serves a double purpose as a main weapon as well as a very usable sub weapon. So in this game, there is a concept of sub weapon for those who are unfamiliar. If you look at the setup of that character, this is the main equipment, but you can put sub equipments to boost their stats as well. So it's a very useful sub equipment as well, because if I put it in the sub equipment slot, you want to try to find sub equipments that have similar R abilities. So in this case, Murasami has a R ability of physical attack boost, and you want your sub equipments to have rarity of that similar R ability because they will add up. And with these points adding up, you can have these extra boosts that are passive sitting at the back. So if you look back at Maritime Sword, it also has physical attack boost. So by getting it, and I can use his Cloud's own equipment as his sub equipment, right? When there's an enemy that requires water damage, Maritime Sword does water damage, I can swap Murasami for Maritime Sword. And Murasami would go into the sub unit slot while Maritime Sword becomes my main equipment. There's not much loss because it's still having that physical attack boost at the back. So his stats are largely unaffected because I'm swapping two weapons with the same R ability. Comparing to, let's say, some other random weapons like Butterfly Edge, the R ability is HP boost. So if I start using Butterfly Edge, suddenly my Murasami switch with Butterfly Edge, that physical attack R ability that was there for Murasami would be swapped with boost HP. So suddenly my attack will start dropping because the R ability from Murasami has dropped off. But by putting on Maritime Sword, which is also physical attack, my R ability on physical attack is still there, right? It's still at the same threshold generally. So that concept of, I don't know how to explain it, but it's that synergy where they share the same physical attack makes it a very good option to put as a substitute weapon in the sub equipment slot. But when you need it, you just switch it out for that scenario because the enemy is water element based. And if it's lightning, I just switch it back to Murasami again. So I like that duality to it, where I can swap these two weapons to and fro. So I'm gonna get that. Now, that also explains why I have this other weapon. So I'm not going in order. We've covered Fairy Tail, we've covered Maritime Sword. I also selected this other weapon that Sephiroth has. So I'm going for Edge Wing. Obviously, this is the featured banner, but I'm also going for CC Alloy Sword, because if you notice, once again, that duality thing is there. Edge Wing's main R ability is boost magic attack. And in this case, Sephiroth, for those who still don't know, there are tons of videos covering this, but our boy Sephiroth here is built for a mage. Most of his weapons and his stats and his equipment, all of them point towards him being a mage. So Edge Wings is a magic attack weapon with a magic ice damage, and CC Alloy Sword has that same R ability, also boosting magic attack. So I like that. Just that Edge Wings focuses on ice damage, CC Alloy Sword focuses on lightning damage. But the good thing is, it could be, like I said, similar to how Murasame and Maritime Sword doubles as a substitute for each other. CC Alloy Sword could be a good substitute for Edge Wing. So when I'm faced with a lightning based enemy, I can just an enemy with a lightning element weakness, I can swap out Edge Wings for CC Alloy Sword to deal lightning damage, and I'll be able to change Sephiroth from an ice damage dealer to a lightning damage dealer without much compromise on my magic attack boost, because I'm swapping these two weapons where they have the same R ability, just to and fro. So CC Alloy Sword will be one weapon that I will put in the sub-equipment slot for Sephiroth. So that will be a good one to put at the back in the sub-equipment slot for Sephiroth, right? And another problem that I have anyway is that I don't have a lot of equipment with boost magic attack. So for those who don't know, you can just filter for the R ability directly. You don't have to check your equipment one by one. They have this filter function where you can find all your weapons with magic attack R ability, and you can easily see in one glance all the weapons that have that R ability. In this case, I only have like 3 weapons that are reasonable, but I can't really use Wizard Staff as the sub-equipment for Sephiroth because I am using Aerith, and many of my setups, Wizard Staff is equipped as a weapon to deal damage. So if I swap that out, then Wizard Staff is just a backup weapon for Sephiroth at the back for stats, and I can't use Wizard Staff on Aerith. So I do need that third magic attack equipment that can boost Sephiroth's magic attack R ability. So I have Gold Collar, I have Jiggy Fam, which is good, but I just need that one more. So I'm planning that one more to be CC Alloy Sword. Why not? Because I can just put it there in the third substitute slot, and whenever there's a lightning element weakness enemy, I can just swap out CC Alloy Sword and Edge Wings can be in the back instead, and I won't have much compromise in terms of the magic attack stats. Now the other weapon that I'm putting on my wish list is Aoi no Nibi, and this needs not much explanation for those who are familiar. For those who are unfamiliar, like I mentioned earlier, is one of the most powerful weapons that everyone is talking about right now because it does a self boost, and some of us might find like it's a bit hard to understand how is it different from a debuff, because both end up with the same result, right? If you have a debuff, for example, like you reduce an enemy's magic defense, any magic attack that you deal would increase, right? Similarly, if you do a self buff on your magic attack dealt will also increase. But the difference here is there are many bosses which are immune to debuffs. So while the generic enemy might be susceptible to debuffs, and you debuff them, you can deal more damage, some bosses are immune to debuffs. So if you try to debuff, nothing happens, and so that opportunity is wasted. But if you're doing a self buff, you are not affected by the boss's immunity. So the boss might be immune to debuff, but you're increasing your own stats, you're increasing your magic attack. So you're going to be more powerful and be able to deal more damage, right? It's almost like a guaranteed increase in your damage dealing. So that self buff is actually a lot more reliable than a debuff. Having said that, there are limitations as well. If you're doing a self buff, you're just boosting one unit's output. Whereas if you're doing a debuff, all the other units that are also dealing magic damage to the enemy will also have an increase in your damage dealt to the enemy. So there are pros and cons there. I'm not going to dive too much into it, but basically Aoi Nibi being able to do that self boost is so powerful. It also has regen that applies to Sephiroth when he does this, as well as healing some of his HP. So it's really good. And even though I already have I was super lucky, I have to admit I'm really lucky when I was using the free tickets. I had 3 copies of Aoi Nibi. So I had a 5-star and I had another 2. So I'm really satisfied with this, but I still want to collect more, because when Aoi Nibi has reaches 15 stars rarity, that impact from his skill is so much higher as well. So it just makes it so good that I just want to collect more copies of it, so I can just put it there. The last thing I'm putting on my wish list is Aerith's Sun Umbrella, because I missed it in the earlier event, and it is actually a very powerful weapon, but I just didn't want to spend on it. I spent on the banner. But yeah, it deals 340 non-elemental damage, which is very important where at the battle tower. So there's this battle tower, which is honestly ultra difficult challenge. So it's just something for you to challenge yourself if you're interested, but it's not compulsory, honestly. It's just for the sake of challenging yourself. So but the problem about the battle tower challenges is that there are enemies, and I can just show you. I don't know why I'm not showing. Battle tower here is just whales will get through this easy, but free-to-play players, take your time on this. There's no need to rush through this. And some of these enemy boss like Astro Iron Giant is resistant to all elements. So if you have any weapon which has any elemental damage on it, it's not going to be ideal, because it's going to deal a lot less damage to the enemy as compared to using a non-elemental damage weapon. So there are some, let's say for Cloud, and I do intend to eventually get more of that, is the Apocalypse. So Cloud has an Apocalypse, which is physical non-elemental damage. So it's not affected by the resistance that Iron Giant has. And Sun Umbrella also has that. But that's not the interesting part about Sun Umbrella. It is also about the fact that it can do all these physical defense debuff and a magic defense debuff. So as a healer, right, I find that the Sun Umbrella, that Aerith, if Aerith is equipped with the Sun Umbrella, she can double as both the healer as well as a person who can debuff the enemy when I need it. On top of that, the other utility behind getting Sun Umbrella is that it becomes a viable sub-equipment to put in my sub-equipment slot for Sephiroth, because it has magic attack boost as well. So when I don't need Sun Umbrella on Aerith, I can just put Sun Umbrella on Sephiroth and boost his stats. So it is a dual function, because I'm using both Aerith and Sephiroth on my team. I can situationally change this weapon in and out. So that's why I decided to go for Sun Umbrella. But I might not need multiple copies, I just need one, just for the sake of using it when I want to debuff the enemy. And if I don't, I can just put it in the sub-equipment slot for Sephiroth. So the good thing about the wishlist is that it's not fixed forever. You can change it out. So as you are journeying through your stamp card summon, and let's say I get Sun Umbrella along the way, or Maritime Sword, and I don't need more copies of it, I can change out for other weapons that I also want. So another thing that I do want is the Shinra Blade Model 1 for Sephiroth, because I'm struggling on the Astro Giant. I don't have enough non-elemental damage weapons, so I'm struggling a bit on that. I'll be collecting the Shinra Blade or I will be collecting the prototype Crimson Blade, which is also another powerful weapon that deals fire damage for Sephiroth. The reason I like Sephiroth so much also is the fact that he's a mage. In my current setup, I have a lot of physical damage dealt to the enemy, but I don't have much magic damage. I have Cloud in my party, and Cloud is obviously the main damage dealer for physical damage. I have Aerith as my healer, who does some additional magic damage as well. Because of her setup, she can do some extra magic damage at the side, but her focus is supposed to be healing. And then I have Zack. So Zack is the other character that is kind of like the tank currently because of his HP build. You can see his HP is crazy, it's 6,600. It's like twice that of the other characters. Almost there, almost twice. And he focuses quite a bit on physical as well. So the moment I'm faced with an enemy with physical attack resistance and you need to deal magic damage, I'm stuck. I usually get very poor ratings on that. So having a mage is what I wanted anyway. So this explains why I have this wish list and why I'm going hard on Sephiroth. And of course, the other thing is Sephiroth is Sephiroth. So those who have always wanted to use the antagonist as a playable character, here we go. This is our chance, right? And honestly, this is before his downfall, right? He's the fallen angel. And yeah, the other thing that is funny that has surfaced in many of the videos or some comments here and there is that his gear makes him look a bit like Aqua from Kingdom Hearts. Honestly, I don't think so. I think I can see the resemblance, but I think it makes him look more like Riku than anything. Also, Riku is the other character from Kingdom Hearts, and yeah, it really makes him look a lot like Riku. I don't know. Please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. Do you think he looks more like Riku or Aqua? I don't know. I think he looks like Riku, and I don't mind him wearing this costume. It looks quite cool. But of course, his iconic look right now in his story mode is his iconic Sephiroth costume, which is a slightly simpler version than his long-haired look that he has. So this is him rocking his standard costume, Shinra hero. But let's see. So before we continue, sorry, I know that I've been dragging this for so long and I have not started a summon, but I want to talk about strategizing these pools. I've explained it briefly, but I plan to just spend as minimal as I can to reach 12 stem, because I do want to get this costume, and because this costume is useful. That boost magic attack will be very useful for Sephiroth in the long run. So once I get this, I'm gonna stop. I could stop here, but having his gear is gonna make him so much more powerful, and I plan to use Sephiroth in the long run. So I have enough resources. I have 55,000 here. So I'm pretty sure if I get the worst of luck and I get single stems all the way, I'm going to end up spending 36,000 max. And I'm not going to spend any more than that. That's how you need to strategize your play when you're playing as a free-to-play player. You can't get greedy and try to get more things. Like once you get what you need, that's it. What it also means is that I might go through this stem sheet and up to the 12 stem and I only get one copy of Edge Wings. And yeah, it's a lot. It might be weaker compared to others who might have had 2 copies or 3 copies of Edge Wings, who would end up with an Edge Wing at 6 stars or 7 stars rarity. But like I mentioned, at 5 stars rarity, it is already very usable. So you just gotta be contented, and you know, if I have 5 stars rarity, that's where I'm gonna stop. And I will enjoy Edge Wings at 5-star rarity. But I know that I will, with 36,000, having spent only 36,000, I would be left with 19,000 crystals. And I just need to save up a bit more to reach 36 again. And I'll be ready for the Evan Children event. And I don't plan to spend on any other banner until I get there, right? So you just gotta have that vision in mind and save for that. And you'll be good, right? Or you can alternatively just spend on the game, but that's if you want to spend. I'm not discouraging spending, but I'm just sharing my strategy if you're planning to save. And to be honest, I'm not free to play by choice. The problem is, honestly, it's not released in my region yet, so I'm using VPN to play this, and because I'm using VPN, I can't buy crystals even if I want to, so I'm kind of forced to do free to play anyway. And it's good because it's good to save money. So let's go. I'm gonna start summoning on these stamp card, and let's see. I might end up spending 36,000. I don't know. Wish me luck, guys. Here we go. Let's start with the first draw, and it'll be easier to see what I mean. So I'm going for, yeah, they're just confirming that this will be square 6 and square 12. Yeah, because I know Bold Eagle is very good, but I'm not gonna go for Bold Eagle. I'm going for Sephiroth. Alright, let's see the stamp challenge. What do I get? As expected, 1 star. I knew it, anticipated it. It's okay. It's okay. I have enough. You can get 1 star all the way. But let's not jinx it, yeah? Okay, and this is the animation. I like the animation. The summoning animation is so cool. I know some of you might find it like boring, but I just like the CG animation from the Final Fantasy Remake games, and so this is just playing all that memory. And yeah, from here you can see how the pool is going to go, and this is not great because the ideal one that you want to hope for is Cloud dodging that attack, or him successfully parrying the Iron Giant's attack. In this case, he didn't. He got pushed back, and then he did a simple swipe of the sword. There was no cross slash, but I've actually seen an animation where he got pushed back, but he still dealt 77,000 damage. We'll talk about that later. So once you get there, you actually get a you know, a 5-star weapon. So that's great. I didn't get anything good. And let's try again. So you can see my progress on the stamp card is 1. So I just need to slowly progress through to the 12th stamp. And I got enough resources for that, so let's go. Let's not jinx it. I hope we get something better. I'm hoping not to spend 36,000. Oh yay! We get 3 stamps. That's good. That's good. You're making good progress. So that's like 12,000 saved. No, not 12,000. 6,000 saved, right? Yeah. So that's great. That's great. Very happy with 3 stamps. 3 stamps is good. But we don't know what the draw might be. I might get crappy draws again. Let's see. Does he dodge? Does he? I don't like to speed it up. I know some people speed it up, but I just want to enjoy the animation. I'm sorry. So, yeah, let's go. Do you dodge? Do you parry it? Are you gonna parry it? Come on, man. Oh yes, he dodged. Alright. And then he's gonna do his cross slash. Nice. Done. Let's see what I get. Oh yay. Okay. Here we go now. How many? Oh, just one. Just one. Is it butterfly edge? Oh no. Let's just skip that. Let's go see what I get. Oh! I got another copy of Aoi Nibi. Oh, that's insane, man. That's insane. I got another one. I got another one. My Aoi Nibi is gonna be like really buffed. Okay, it's good. It's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. I don't have to change my wish list yet because I do want to get up to 15 stars of Aoi Nibi. I know some of you might be cursing right now. I've seen some summon videos, like people were really hoping to get Aoi Nibi alongside this ring, but they weren't able to. Oh, 2 stamps, that's great. Oh, so in this case, in this draw, I am guaranteed at least 1 edge wing, at least 1. So the animation is definitely going to be like a 5-star animation because edge wing is going to be in that summon. So it's not an extra summon, it's not like 10 plus 1. It's just within the 10, you're guaranteed edge wing, at least 1. I don't know if you can get more than 1 in this guaranteed 10. But let's see. And he's gonna parry or he's gonna dodge. Oh no. So this is the example that was even when he got pushed back, he can still do. Oh yeah, so 9,900 damage, you can still get 5-star. I think I've seen that before, so I was disappointed, and then somehow I still got that 5-star weapon. So I think this is a case, right? And it could be only on that pool. So we have H-Wing. That's great. I'm still going for the gear. And 2 stamps, sorry I didn't talk about it, but 2 stamps means good because I saved another 3,000. So I've saved, the way I'm thinking about it, my budget is 36,000, and because I got 3 stamps, I saved on 3,000, which is 6,000, and I got another 2 stamps, so I saved another 3,000. So I've saved 9,000 in total from my original budget. So that's good. So that gives me more runway to save up for the next banner, and which will be maybe 1 year later. I think Heaven Children will be coming anytime soon, but I'm just saving for the future. All right, we are already halfway there, almost there to the 12th stamp. Let's see how we do on the stamp challenge here. We'll probably get 1 star. 2 stars. Oh, I'm saving well. All right. Let's see what we get. We might not get H-Wing still. I might get something else. Maybe another copy of Aoi Nibi. I don't know. I don't know how many copies of Aoi Nibi I'm gonna get. Another H-Wing would be good because H-Wing is powerful. So having him at 6 star would be fun. But it's not powerful, like I said. So anyway, let's see. Running. Are you gonna parry it? Yes, you're gonna parry it. Yay! You did it. Oh yeah, documenting all the different animations as possible. We saw the dodge, we saw the parry, and cross slash as well. So let's see which weapon we're gonna get. Silhouette. Oh, Barrett. Oh, so this is like the super rare chance, right? It was not on my wish list. And we got Barrett. Barrett was not on my wish list, man. Okay, by the way, assault gun. It's always good to just check out like what are his abilities. So this I got at 0.02%. Yeah, so that's payback for having so many Aoi Nibis. Let's see. Oh, heal. Oh, that's useful. I do need more heal weapons for Aerith's R ability, and that ice resist. So if I need ice resistance, I can just change out some of it, Aerith's sub equipment, which also has heal, but this time I can use assault gun to give Aerith that ice resist. That's provided I level assault gun enough, right? So that's something to think about. We can strategize that gameplay a lot later. So there's a good chance that my H-Wing might just stay at 5 stars at this rate. But that also depends on how many more times I need to pull before I reach the gear. But I'm definitely going for the gear. So let's go! Stamp challenge. Boom! 1 star. And that's not surprising. We should always expect that it will always be 1 star. And then if we get anything better, we're just satisfied with the result, right? So here we go. And let's see, what do you get? We might actually get like all blue. I've seen somebody with like all blue summons, and that's also a possibility. That's a lot, right? Sometimes, you know, it just RNG isn't in our favor. So the RNG be ever in your favor. In this case, it's not in mine. Whoops. So whoa, it's gonna do a step slash, and let's see what kind of summons we get. If you get purple, it's still not bad because the weapon part you're getting is going to be like 10 weapon parts, and it only takes about 200 to get to a 5 star. So if you do enough of these, eventually you will get to upgrade it to you know, a higher rarity weapon. So you see H-Wings, I'm getting like some additional weapon parts here and there as well. So, you know, it's good. Yay, yeah, we're getting some H-Wings here and there. Yeah, I like it. So anyway, eventually H-Wing would become 6 stars if I continue to farm more weapon parts through the other quests that we talked about, the weapon part quest. Yeah, so let's see. We're at 9 squares now, 9 stamps. Oh, 1 stamp again. It's okay. I've saved quite a bit from the earlier pulls, yeah? The earlier pulls were a lot better. Now it's starting to dwindle a bit, you know, like it's getting not so good, but it's okay. It's okay. Let's see. Do we get anything else? Whoa, iron giant. Let's go. That's one stem pool. And let's see. Are you gonna dodge? Are you gonna parry? Oh no! It's not another good pool. Boom. And 9,900. And of course, it's not gonna be great. A whole bunch of blues and purples. And yay. Oh, that's good. I managed to get Shinra Blade model. But that was 4 stars. Okay, so when it comes to this, well, I'm already dipping into my 36,000. So at this rate, I might need to get 2 more pulls just to get a gear. And of course, that means that I'll be slightly lower than my safety threshold of 36,000 that I want to save for the next banner. But I think it's really good. We just do a quick assessment here. I managed to save quite a bit on the earlier draws. So even after, I end up not spending 36,000. So we'll just do a stock take at the end of it, how much did I actually spend. But sometimes I like to just exit, do a bit of checks, claim some of these additional stuff. I don't know if it actually resets the streak of bad luck that I've been getting. It's just superstition, honestly, at this point in time. But yeah, sorry, I just want to take a break, you know, from all that negativity of not getting some of the good stuff. And maybe it gets better later. And also check out some of these weapon parts that I've gotten. They're new. This is unfamiliar. Woo, H-Wing. So I have 67, not bad. So, you know, if I collect a little bit more, eventually I'll be hitting 200. That will allow my H-Wing to be further upgraded from 5 stars to 6 stars as well. And my Aoi Nibi, I can as well upgrade. I can do that upgrade now. I can just feel a little better before I continue with the remaining summons. So Aoi Nibi is already at 7 stars. By doing this, it goes up to 8. So let's go. Yay! Higher stats. Awesome. And of course, when it reaches the, oh, by the way, you can also look at its oh yeah, you cannot cap that level, but you can also look at its stats and see what it's supposed to, how it's supposed to play out when it's at tier 1, and this is like when it's at 11 stars, and its ability, you can see the magic attack increase has gone up to high potential. On a normal basis, it's just mid, and the duration is 36 seconds. But when it's 11 stars, it goes up to high and it's 40 seconds. And everything else is boosted as well. It's a lot higher. And its R ability goes up as well. So this is insane, this weapon. And if it goes up to max 15 stars, it's even higher. 44 seconds, and you can see the rest. It's a very powerful weapon. Anyway, before we continue with the draw, I just want to do a bit of chocobo checking. I can't remember how much rewards, how much they have collected on the expedition. I have been having quite a bit of luck on the chocobo colors as well. It's just something fun, but they have different colors of chocobos, and you know, I featured some of the shots here, but it's really funny to see like different colors. I can't wait to collect blue and red chocobo as well. So anyway, let's get back to the banner. So enough to reset that negative feeling, those negative feelings. Let's see what else we get, and I should be satisfied even if I don't get anything else, because I've used quite a bit on Sam's journey. So let's see, we got a 1 star again, unfortunately, and let's see what kind of pulls I'm gonna get. Is it just more what do you call that, weapon parts? I haven't seen any of his samurai costumes so far. I've been quite lucky in the earlier ones where I got the samurai costume. Once you see the samurai costume comes out, you know you're guaranteed a 5 star, because you should definitely parry that Iron Giant's attack. Yeah, no, he's not. Okay, it's okay. I think I used up all my luck getting so many Aoi Nibi weapons. So it's all gone away into getting our needy. Okay, anyway, we can skip this part. It's just gonna be all weapon parts again. And it's good, it's okay. Oh, Murasami. Can we get more Murasami? Can we get more edge wings? We're edging towards 6 stars slowly. Alright, it's the last one. Let's just go for it. I'm not expecting much, but I'm gonna get the... So let's see. Ooh, 1 star. Just nice. We're gonna land on that 12th stem, getting me my gear, but nothing else. And I'm not gonna go beyond that. So we cleared that. We got a gear. That's all. And oh! Just when I was talking about it. And here we have the gear. Maybe it only appears... Maybe it's just appearing because we are getting the gear. I don't know if you're getting any other 5-star weapon here. But yeah, it's good that we managed to talk about it with a new video as well. I don't know, the next summoning video will be like 1 year later. Because I'm not going to summon on anything pretty much until Evan Children comes. Here we go. Let's see what kind of pulls we get in that last faithful pull. And what we're going to get. Oh, yay! Is that edge wing? Is that edge wing? Ooh, let's see. Hey, it's edge wing! Yay! And I have the gear as well. I know some of you don't like it. You say that it looks like Aqua. I don't know. I think it looks a lot more like Riku. But yay, we got it. And we got... Who's our... Yep. No, they're just gonna tempt you to get 1 more. So it's so tempting. If you are able to afford it, you can just buy 1 more and you can get another edge wing to like power him up. Yeah, that's how they do it. And they got earn. I'm not blaming them. You have to earn. How else are you going to? So we got edge wing. Yay! We got another edge wing. So edge wing is gonna be 6 stars. So that's good. But I didn't get the other weapon. So I was hoping to get the other weapon. CC alloy to do the magic attack slot or sun umbrella, but I didn't get either of them, so I got to use another weapon as my substitute slot within Sephiroth setup, because as you can see I only have a few magic attack weapons. So there are 3 slots, so I can fill it up with Jiggy Fam to boost magic attack. I can fill it up with Edgewing is going to be the active weapon. I can fill it up with Gold Collar, but this is the tricky part. There are times where I can put Wizard Staff, but I don't know who else to put. Should I put CC Alloy? Right? Or should I put Tiger Fang, which is already quite upgraded? But I don't know if which one will come eventually, right? If I continue playing, this is really just random. This is random. We don't know how it's gonna play out. I could collect more weapon parts to do that CC alloy to upgrade it to 5 stars. Or Tiger Fang could come along someday. Or I might get another weapon that also increases magic attack someday, or I could just put something else. But yeah, that's the tricky part. I didn't anticipate that. I was hoping to get some off-banner weapon that could give me that last, magic attack boost that I sorely needed. I didn't get anything on my wish list. In the previous time, I did get some stuff on the wish list, so that's great. This time I didn't. But anyway, it's good because I've only spent how much? So from 55,000, I came down to 31,000. So I spent about 14,000. That doesn't sound right. Like, hang on. It should be in multiples of 3, right? So it was like 56,000, I guess. I basically spent 15,000 around there, right? It was like 5 multiples, I think. But anyway, that was the damage. So I have 31,000 now. I just need to save up another 5,000 and I'm good to go if they release Evan Children. So that's it. Let's just do a bit of party modification and let's see how Sephiroth fares. It's not going to be great because yeah, this is this is my slot for any new character or new weapon that I want to try out, and I can always just change it. It's just for setup purposes. And yeah, Sephiroth is not fully leveled. He's like level 35 compared to like all the other characters, which are like my main characters are level 50 and the rest are like level 39. I gotta level him up. But let's put on his special equipment. Let's put on his Nameless is there, but I want to put on his Edge Wing. Oh yes, and I forgot to enhance Edge Wing. Edge Wing is a 6-star weapon, so that's great. Ooh, and he has 90 parts. You can go up to 7-star very soon. We have Edge Wing up there. Yay, the attack boost is huge. You can see it's 440 up to 530. So yay, Edge Wing is powerful. And we put Aoi Nibi, because Aoi Nibi is gonna give him that magic attack boost when he's battling, so that's gonna be awesome. And then let's put some sub equipment as well. We can put on the R ability, magic attack weapons, and I can put Jiggy Fam. I gotta level that up. I can put on gold collar, and I can put on something else. I haven't decided, but now it's on Arif, the wizard staff. But let's see. Maybe CC alloy sword. Maybe I'll just do a quick comparison between CC alloy sword. If it's at combat 1, let's say I manage to get a 5-star version, I will get 16 points. If I get this, it's 16 points as well. But it's boost critical, boost lightning potential, whereas this is like just boost critical. I think I'll just put CC alloy sword. If I'm lucky and I get it along the way, and that's great for me. And then I wouldn't have to re-level it. But Tiger Fang is a good substitute until I get there. And I just put it there. I'll just level it up and make do with what I have. So that's the good thing, right? You know, you're not always gonna get what you want as a free-to-play player, but the alternatives are not that bad, right? And also I can choose not to put this R ability. I can put a boost HP ability as well. So I can put on the Parasol. That gives him a huge boost because his HP just skyrockets, but his magic attack is going to be compromised. You can see I should have done that view there that makes it a little easier to see. So between Beach Parasol versus putting on the magic attack weapon, I might put on Beach Parasol for now, because all the other weapons, even if they're able to boost their magic attack, because its base stat as a level 80 15-star weapon is still a lot higher, it could give me more utility. So even if my Tiger Fang is like up there and can give me more magic attack boost, but Beach Parasol itself has base stats. So for those who are not familiar, the sub equipment base stats contributes to 50%. So 50% of the stats of Beach Parasol. So by equipping Beach Parasol, I'm contributing 180 magic attack here, 50% of 360. So to Sephiroth's stats. So by equipping some of these high rarity weapons, it actually helps. So case in point, I can deliberately set the other event weapon, in this case 1000 waves, which will also contribute magic attack stats. You can see that magic attack stat is going to jump. So I might end up leveling gold collar just because I need more weapons for red 13. But yeah, even after leveling it up to level 60, for example, 1000 waves might still be a more feasible weapon to slot in for Sephiroth. But let's see. And it makes him tanky anyway with that HP boost. So if you look at his R ability, his HP boost is like, ooh, haha, high up there. Anyway, that's it. And let's put in some materia because, oh, he's a mage. So let's put some materia on there. And I got some good luck on the materia so far. I've been quite lucky. So I managed to get some good 5-star upgrades. So that was fun, playing around with the upgrading of materia. So I'm gonna put on some basic materia and let's see how well he fares in terms of stats. Let's put on Renoa. I don't know why I'm so particular about ensuring consistency. In this case, it's just a mock setup, because honestly, to maximize your damage, you gotta custom your setup for most of your boss encounters. Yeah, you can't use the default setup because different bosses will have different weaknesses or different sigils that will need to break. So you got to play out to that advantage, you know. But yeah, let's see. This is probably the better Ruin Ra. So this will be a typical setup. You will have like the element that the boss is weak to, and then you have to put on the other sigil breakers. And you see, even at level 34, when his nodes are not maxed out, with and his weapon is still like at level 1, it's already 23,000. That's crazy, right? That's how powerful Sephiroth is. Of course, I was very lucky to get Edgewing at 6 stars and, you know, so many Arwen newbies. But I think he has a lot of potential at level 34 when I still haven't done his growth stuff. There's a lot going there. So I can't wait to play Sephiroth in my main setup. I just gotta level his equipment up and his weapon up, and we'll get there. We'll get there. Alright, but I hope you enjoyed the summoning video. Sorry, I have been very long-winded in my explanations and my thought process. But that's it for today's log, and it's not Digimon. But if you are a Final Fantasy VII fan and also interested in Digimon or raising virtual pets, then you've come to the right channel. Please like and subscribe and look out for more Digimon logs. And the next log for Final Fantasy VII will be whenever Evan Children drops, I think. And then we'll see you there in the next video if you're only interested in Final Fantasy VII. But if you're interested in Digimon, do check out the other videos that I do. It's a lot of focus on digital monsters, or in this case, just raising virtual pets. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye.